when we choose to honor our cyclical rhythms, seasons, and live in accordance to our nature, we do so for all the women that have walked before us. And we begin to carve a new pathway, a new point in time where a new choice is born for all the women yet to come. Welcome to the Embodied Woman podcast with me, Rebecca Wilson. An embodied experiential space for you to drop deep into the wealth of wisdom within your being and activate a fuller, richer you. I am a feminine awakener, thought leader, embodied business doula, sacred business midwife, healer, and all-round medicine woman. I am here to guide women deeper into their essence and power, to activate their life force, awaken pleasure, and support them to live an embodied life. I will help you birth your visions, dreams, creations, desires, and sacred business into the world from an easeful, embodied, and rooted place within. My work supports women to become more available for life, love, relationship, connection, creation, pleasure, and wealth. I will activate you into self-leadership and self-mastery to truly live an embodied and awakened life. Welcome on the journey, my love. Hello, beloved woman. Welcome to the Embodied Woman podcast. It's so gorgeous to be here with you. Today, I wanted to share something that has deeply awoken within me on my own journey of replenishing, nourishing, and resourcing myself, my body, my spirit, the many aspects of me in all the forms that takes. And this has been a cellular deep awakening and realization that we as women heal our feminine lineages through self-honoring, self-caring practice. Now, we can arrive at this from a real surface place, but as always, if you've been in my world for some time, you will know I like to explore things much deeper than that. Throughout my own journey of self-honoring, practices that support me and have supported me, continue to guide me deeper into connection to my feminine essence, nature, have taken me on a beautiful journey of recognition, a journey of realization through the honoring of myself, through the nurturing of my body, my heart, and my emotion, through the nourishment of my cells, my body, and my being. Through kind and loving choices towards myself, I not only heal me, this body of mine, that healing passes down, way, way down the line. It heals my feminine lineage too. This body that I have been born into is a body that has and always will be intricately connected to all the bodies that existed before me within my lineage. This body, these bones, this flesh, this skin, these cells and these organs that all live in this home of my body were all born from my mother's body, were all formed and all grew within her, and she within her mother, and her within her mother, and so on, all the way back, way down the line, maybe to the first point in time of creation itself. We heal our lineage through honoring ourselves. These practices that I have brought into my life are a sacred ceremony and ritual. Practices for me such as breast massage, womb massage, body brushing, using castor oil pack, practices that nourish myself, going out for walks, moving my body in ways that cultivate strength and power, nurturing and nourishing my body through the food that I eat and consume, how I consume that, in which way it's prepared and served. They've all become a sacred ritual, a ceremonial experience within my life. And for those moments in life where everything feels full, a simple placing of my hand on my heart or my womb and acknowledging myself, coming back into a connection with my body, noticing how I feel, what sensations may be alive or present, and what I may need in those moments most. There is a deep and profound honoring of the self here. And as much as we can speak of self-care, caring in this way is not only for the self. We begin to shift patterns and belief systems that have circulated and moved through generation upon generation of our family lineage, particularly as women, our feminine lineage, and the women that have walked before us, the women that didn't live in a world that we live in now, that didn't have access to the wisdom that is here for us, a world that did not honor women in their full reverence, power, beauty, a world that was not set up for women to truly take care of themselves, a world that did not prioritize nourishment, that was not able to for the myriad of reasons why. When we choose to turn towards ourselves in honor, reverence, and connection, we heal the patterns and wounds and the many lived experiences from not only our lifetime, but the lifetimes of all the women in our system and lineage. When we choose to break a cycle of depletion, lack of resource, undernourishment, when we choose to step out of the martyr, the victim, the savior, the persecutor, the people pleaser, a woman with no boundaries who continually pours out and out into her external world, leaving very little to pour back into herself. When we choose to step out of these habitual systemic patterns, beliefs, and ways of being, we break the chain, we birth something new. And in doing so, we not only honor our own selves and our bodies, but we can do so from a place of honoring all the bodies, all the women, all the hearts and wombs that have been here before us. When we explore resourcing, self-care, self-honoring from this place, the depth of healing that is available to us is magnificent. When we turn towards ourselves and hold our own body and being, we can choose to also acknowledge that we are holding all the women in our family line. This action of turning towards the self, within the self, from a place of love, honor, and acceptance, from a place of reverence, healing is available in ways that we could never truly imagine. So often I hear of women sharing with me how they grew up in homes where the women around them in their family and their close friends in their communities did not honor or take care of themselves. Women sharing with me that they never truly learned how to nourish themselves fully and deeply, what self-care practices may be for them, how to nurture themselves through different points and stages in life, the many seasons we have as women, how held we feel and how deeply aligned we are with our own nature when we honor our seasons and cycles within. Many of us have grown in systems, in places, in communities where we were not taught this. We did not have this information to learn, to know, or understand. We may have been taught to crack up, pull your socks up, get on with it. You don't need to eat that. There's many, many comments that I hear from the women that I share space with in our community. And these stories are usually etched very deep within, driving the show, driving the ship through our own subconscious imprint. We carry these blueprints of the environment in which we were born into, taking snapshots of each experience, impressing them into our bodies, our nervous systems, our subconscious, as in this is how we are meant to be in the world. I wonder, my love, what were the stories that you've conceived along the way, particularly about your feminine essence and your womanhood? Has it been a story of self-care and honor, of deep self-respect? Or like many of us, has it been a story of self-abandon, lack of boundary, people-pleasing, denial of need, a suppression of desire, a disconnect from the body, a lack of nurture and nourishment, severed from connection to our bodies, living from the mind, constantly achieving, striving and pushing, living and existing from the edge of burnout, all because that is what we've been taught or we viewed within the world around us. When we choose as women at this beautiful and powerful point in time, whenever we arrive into it, to stand still, to pause and breathe, and to choose a new direction on our path. We do not do so from a place of severing connection with what was, denying our ancestors or the women of our lineage, but we can do so from a place of pivoting, carving a new path, and carrying their essence with us. So when we choose to rest, we rest for them all. When we choose to self-honor, we honor each and every woman. When we choose nourishment, we nourish our cells, the cells that grew from our mother, her mother, her mother, her mother, and all the mothers before them. When we choose to honor our cyclical rhythms, seasons, and live in accordance to our nature, we do so for all the women that have walked before us. And we begin to carve a new pathway, a new point in time, where a new choice is born for all the women yet to come, all the women that we will interact with, all the girls and the children too. When we become this living embodiment of resource, nurture, and nourishment, we exude a sense of vitality and radiance that is all born from within. It is a vitality and radiance that cannot be bought, particularly through these external beauty standards and companies that thrive upon women trying to find this sense of fix in the external. When we rest deeply within our own bodies to truly understand what we may need, and through that we are able to meet those needs. We meet the needs not only of ourselves, but all the women before us and the women yet to come. From this place, you become a living, breathing embodiment, a force of energy that sends ripples throughout every space in which you inhabit. And that has the power to heal lineages. So as we step into these practices and we step into the redirection of choices, we are not doing so from a place of self, but from a place of us all together. If you are feeling the call to deeply honor yourself, your lineage, and heal through nurture, resourcing, body and somatic awareness, feminine energy, awakening, and liberation, I welcome you into the Resourced Woman, a 3-week journey supporting you to cultivate connection and presence with your body, emotions, and felt experience. A journey that will guide you and support you to lead from the fullness of who you are. You have a choice, my love. A choice to pivot and change direction. A choice to nourish yourself deeply with self-honoring and body-based practices. A choice to journey deep within, to reawaken your feminine energy and power. A choice to soften beyond all of the held and stored contractions and limitations, outdated beliefs, the non-serving identities and blocks and patterns that have been conceived throughout your lifetime. A choice to restore body, mind, heart, spirit, womb. So I ask you, my love, are you ready to become an embodied, resourced woman? A woman that is able to voice her needs, hold healthy boundaries, prioritize herself with an understanding she cannot pour from an empty cup. She fills herself to pour into her life from a place of sovereignty, whilst deeply connected to her feminine wisdom and power. The Resourced Woman begins December 2023. And this is your invitation to join us. Gather with us as a sacred circle of women as we heal our feminine lineage through self-honoring practices. I welcome you to join us on the journey, my love. All details will be linked in the show notes of this episode. You can connect with me on Instagram at Rebecca_Wilson_. If this episode has resonated with you, please share it far and wide with the sisters in your world and your community. May we lead the revolution back into resourced, embodied wholeness. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. If you loved this musing and sharing, I would love for you to share this episode far and wide. You can arrive into all of my offerings at rebecca-wilson.com. Links to dive deeper with me are in the episode notes. Remember, my love, you are here to be the fullest, most potent, powerful, embodied version of you. I am here to guide you into that. Hey love, I'm dropping in here to welcome you to join us in our online community membership, The Village. I created this space for women to gather, to return to themselves, to deepen the connection and the relationship with self, whilst held in a community of like-minded women walking the journey and the path of their own awakening.